What's up, guys? Here's another Thursday video. I'm so excited to talk to you guys today. And listen, what we're talking about today is why do we worship? Stay tuned. Have you ever considered what changes when you begin to follow Jesus? Like the difference between how things are now versus how they used to be, like how you're a new person and you left the old life behind you. You have a new life. Things are different now. Things are better now. But what does it actually look like? There's this idea of the old and new, right? But what actually changes? Well, I want to read you guys this passage in 2 Corinthians chapter 3, and we're going to start in verse 16. It says this: but whenever someone turns to the Lord, the veil is taken away. And the veil we're talking about is something that you cover your eyes with, and it's this spiritual darkness. And what Paul's talking about here is this old covenant veil, the way things used to be, the old rules, the way things were. And I want you to think about your life. What was it like before? What were the ways that you used to live? What were the ways that you lived before you knew Jesus, right? So when someone turns to the Lord, that veil, that darkness is taken away. For the Lord is the Spirit, and wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. Wherever the Spirit of the Lord is, there is freedom. And we know that the Spirit is in our heart. So because of that Spirit, we're no longer slaves, but we have freedom. And to get this, Paul says this: all of us who have had the veil removed can see and reflect the glory of the Lord. And the Lord, who is the Spirit, makes us more and more like Him as we are changed into His glorious image. When we focus, when the veil is removed, we become more and more like God, like Jesus. It's the process of sanctification, of the process of us becoming more and more like Him. So how do we do it? How do we do it? We have to turn to God. And there's a lot of ways you can turn to God. There's a lot of ways you can focus on God. But one of my favorites, and the one I want to talk to us about today, is worship. Think about how you've turned your heart to God in worship. When you're singing, when you're giving Him praise, adoration, you're lifting Him up. And you're turning your heart towards Him saying, yeah, God, I think you're worthy. Yeah, God, I remember how things were, but you brought me out of that place. You saved me. You gave me a new life. See, worship connects us to God. Worship helps us in the process of sanctification, becoming more and more like Him, learning more and more about His Spirit. And here's the thing I find that a lot of people get confused is just because we use music in church services for worship, it doesn't mean that worship has to be done through music. No, music's just a vessel, right? Because listen, everybody likes music. Everybody likes some kind of music. I don't care who you are, right? And why? If you ask somebody, why do you like this type of music? Why do you like this artist? Oh, it makes me feel something. It reminds me of something. Oh, I like the stories it tells because it makes me feel something, right? Music makes us feel something. And when we sing worship music, it connects us to God because we feel it. And let me tell you something, just how music makes us feel something, it makes God feel something. When you sing your praises to God, it makes God feel something. It makes Him happy. It rejoices Him, right? He rejoices in your praise, and you should rejoice in your praise, right? It's this whole big process of sanctification, and worship helps us. Worship helps us connect. And here's the thing I want you guys to know. Our world is maybe more difficult than any world that our parents grew up in, our grandparents. Things are difficult today. There's so many different struggles. And it's because of that reason that worship is so much more important. to constantly connect to God, to constantly connect to His Spirit and encounter His Spirit. Because of how difficult our world is, we need to constantly be worshiping and connecting with God. So I want to close with this. This is a John Piper quote. It says this: human beings were put on this planet to depend upon their Creator and worship their Creator at every point in every sphere of culture. That's what we're here for. We're here to worship God in every sphere, in every sphere of culture. That's our purpose. Because one, it restores us and it connects us. And that's why we worship. Hey guys, thanks for watching this video. Listen, I'm praying for you guys. I'm praying for this channel. I'm always thinking about you guys. So thanks so much for watching. Make sure that you share this with a friend, subscribe, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.